So today's vlog is going to be a bit different than our previous travel vlogs. Not only because it was Valentina's first travel by airplane outside the country, but also because traveling as we once knew it is officially over. In this vlog, we will share tips that will help others traveling with their infant for the first time. Along with these tips, we will share the joys of traveling with Valentina. Lastly, we will share a few of our new favorite places to travel in Puerto Rico. Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. You guys may be wondering where the other two members of my family are right now. Efren is working on the van. We have about a little bit less than 4 weeks to finish the van, and the baby is finally taking a nap. Today has been one of those days. She's usually a really good napper. But she does have her days. So without further ado, I did want to share some tips along the way. So this time we recorded not exactly how I wanted to record and vlog, because it was so hectic with the baby. Sometimes it was either record something or parent. So I chose parenting. I'm going to be honest, we didn't do the greatest job with traveling and recording. But we did get a lot of footage, and I wanted to use it to not only share with you guys her first trip, as I said in the intro, but also to give you guys visuals of the tips that we put together for traveling with your infant or infants. But I only have experience with one infant, so thank God. We were a little nervous when booking our trip so early in the day, but our trip left around 7 in the morning. We had to wake up around 4 to 4:15-ish that morning. We were a little nervous as to how she was going to deal, but she actually ended up waking up right before we were going to wake her up to get on the road. So it worked out perfect.
Good morning. What is today, Vale?
Hey, Mommy, today
Happy camp. You're not going camping. You're going to Puerto Rico.
She usually wakes up around that time to breastfeed and go right back to sleep. So I know she was very confused by the look on her face. Side note, if you guys hear crinkling, it's because my baby's awake and playing with a water bottle. Moving right along, I do want to start with my very first tip. If possible, bring your own stroller and car seat. So the other option is to rent a car seat from the car rental company. But this not only costs more money, but you don't really know the quality and safety of the car seat that they provide. So this was not an option for us. As far as our stroller, we also thought of purchasing a stroller that was of cheaper quality. And although it ran the risk of being damaged in the process of traveling, we decided to take our chances, and thank God both were in one piece, no damages done. Another tip that we want to give anyone traveling with an infant, as you know, it is always recommended to arrive at the airport at least 2 hours early. And we would like to say we would have arrived 2.5 to 3 hours early. So after we came back from our trip, we found out that it was an option to purchase TSA pre-check. Other travelers that travel with their children said that this speeds up the process so much more. So it is definitely something we're going to be looking into in the future. We don't know much about it, so we can't really give you any details. So the other tip is to bring your infant or toddler's birth certificate when traveling. I did pack it just in case. I was, however, never asked for the birth certificate. I do know certain airlines may require it, but I think it is rare. This clip brings me to my next tip.
Valentina. Hi. So we have a new wardrobe right now because we didn't make it past TSA without having a little accident. How do you feel about your first trip, huh? On the plane? How you feel about your first trip on the plane? You excited? Okay, I guess that's how you feel. This how you feel? Yes or no? No. This not how you feel? No?
Valentina had an accident right after we went through TSA. I changed her, and then she had another small accident that I didn't need to change her for. I would definitely recommend, if going somewhere warm, pack at least 3 outfits for your baby. I packed 2 warm outfits and 1 airy outfit. She used each and every one of them. All right, this next tip is called check your bags. Literally check them. As many of them as you can check. Please, I cannot emphasize this enough. Efren convinced me, and I don't know how he convinced me, but he convinced me to take all the carry-ons that were allowed on for free and just check 1 bag. I don't even know why we thought that this was a good idea, but I went along with it, and we struggled there and we struggled on the way back. So if the budget allows, which ours did, I don't even know why we were trying to save $35. If it allows, check as many bags as you can. I think we should have definitely checked 2 large bags, and I definitely would have left behind my big, bulky breast pump bag and just brought a manual one. All right, this next clip is a little embarrassing. So the stroller that we were gifted at our baby shower did come with a stroller cover, which it's probably in the storage in the basement. And our car seat that we were also gifted also came with a cover. If you're traveling with your stroller and or your car seat, and you don't have the cover or never had the cover, you could always purchase it. I think I saw Walmart had it online, Amazon had it online. So you would just search car seat cover or stroller cover. Then definitely bring it. This is something that I wish we would have done. I didn't really think that it would be much of a benefit for some reason. Don't ask me why. But we purchased plastic wrap from Amazon and bubble wrap, which we left behind. And we planned on plastic wrapping it with bubble wrap so that we could protect the stroller. And that was probably not the best idea. So I did read in a blog that sometimes on planes there are empty seats, or you can arrive early and try to rearrange your seating so you have an extra seat in your row. And sometimes travelers are fortunate enough to be able to bring their car seat on. We were kind of counting on this. We didn't think that our flight was full. I had checked before and there were open seats. I don't know what happened last minute, but we ended up not being able to bring our car seat on the aircraft, which is totally fine because it worked out. But I wish we would have been able to. So this is why we were wrapping things last minute, and it would have been so much more helpful if we would have just had the car seat bag and the stroller bag, but we didn't. So this next tip is definitely try to bring a baby carrier if possible. It was very helpful when walking through the narrow aisles in the airplane, getting to our seat. So another tip that I have, which I feel like is one of the most important, is definitely to protect your infant or toddler's ears. So we did purchase, they're almost like sound deadening, like earmuffs for her. They also help with the pressure that one can normally experience when reaching high elevations. Another way to prevent the buildup of pressure in your ears, to prevent popping, is to feed your baby either breast milk or formula, if you formula feed, as you're elevating and then as you're landing for the air pressure. And we did this both on the way up and on the way down, and it worked perfect. She didn't experience any ear popping and had a great flight overall. What I want to insert here is that I exclusively breastfeed her. I don't normally feed her breast milk in a bottle, but she has reached a phase that I hope ends very soon. She doesn't want to breastfeed in public anymore. She's just very distracted, just wants to look around if someone's talking in the area. Even if no one's talking in the area, she just wants to be aware of her surroundings. And so breastfeeding in public is definitely not her thing. She wants to have a bottle, be sitting upright, and be able to see what's going on around her. But if I were to have taken the trip again, you are allowed to travel with breast milk. I believe they allow you to travel with an ice pack. It has to be like completely solid, but I think you can put it into a lunchbox or like a little cooler bag. I believe that there is no limit to the amount of breast milk you can bring. I only ended up bringing, I believe, about 5 or 6 ounces. Like I said, I only wanted it for her when we took off and we landed. But if I were to do it all over again, I would have packed at least one entire day's worth of breast milk, because with everything going on and her being making it difficult for me to breastfeed her in public, it would have definitely been very helpful if I could have just fed her on the go. So the next day we ended up picking up my mom and my aunt from the airport. We surprised my aunt and also surprised my grandparents.
Vida, mama!
And celebrated my 30th birthday. But if I were to do it all over again, I would have probably skipped the surprise with my aunt and traveled all together, because it would have made life 100 times easier. So the next clip is of the vehicle or type of vehicle that you should probably look into when traveling with an infant. Rent a Jeep or vehicle of similar class, as you're most likely going to be carrying around extra baggage for yourself and baby. Also, not to mention, the roads in Puerto Rico are not the smoothest or safest to travel on, especially with an infant. The Jeep comes equipped with a roll cage for added protection. And one day later, all thanks to Valentina. I think this is a good time to mention one of my top tips: go with the flow. I was pretty worried about how she would do on long road trips, just being out the house more often than she's used to. Usually I'm home all day with her. She's able to take her naps. So I was a little concerned with how she would manage. And second day we were there, we ended up going on her very first boat ride, and she did great.
Hi. Can you say hi?
Going with the flow really worked, and she found comfort even if it was in the water. She did not let this all-day outing stop her from taking her naps. Don't be afraid to explore and bring your baby on trips just because you're fearful of how they will adapt or how they'll behave, because they learn to adapt eventually. And this brings me to my next tip. For Valentina, we purchased a few things beforehand. Waterproof sunscreen that we applied 15 minutes before sun exposure. We dressed her in a baby diver's outfit and a hat, and purchased a water floaty that provided shade for her. So while we're here, I do want to mention one of my favorite things to do. This time we actually ended up renting a private boat for the 6 of us adults and 1 infant. It was for the cost of $450 from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. We had a captain, I guess you'd call it a captain, but it wasn't a huge ship, so it kind of feels a little weird to say captain, but yes, captain, I guess. As I already mentioned, this is an all-day excursion, so you are encouraged to bring a cooler full of your favorite snacks, foods, and beverages. If traveling with an infant, you must bring a life jacket that is Coast Guard approved. The rental included a floating mat and kayaks, but only for children, hence my mom flipping over plenty of times. The next thing I want to talk about is pertaining to your stay on vacation. So we stayed in a combination of Airbnbs and hotels. We definitely didn't plan on moving around so much, but we didn't have a clear itinerary past the first week of our vacation, so we ended up jumping around a bit. If you can, unless you already co-sleep, when staying in Airbnb specifically, I would definitely look in the description and see if they have a playpen or if they offer extra beds. I definitely would say that you should plan ahead and ask if there are playpens. You'd be surprised. We did have one host not have one available, but he purchased one for our convenience. We did stay in an Airbnb where we had to share a bed. which was not terrible. Thank God it was a king size bed, so it gave us a little bit extra room because Valentina tends to want to take up the entire bed. As far as hotels, I think we stayed at one hotel that did not provide a playpen, but we did have a double bed. So we had double queen beds and we put her on another bed and surrounded her with pillows. And then the other hotels did. One of them had an actual crib.
Da, 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 da. Whoa! Is that yours?
That's for you?
Wow! Vale, your own bed.
Yay!
Yay!
And another one had a playpen, but I would definitely put it in the notes and make sure to let them know in advance because both hotels did take a little while to bring us the baby crib and the baby playpen. And now I interrupt these tips with a little clip of Valentina eating her very first mango straight from the mango tree. And by the looks of it, she enjoyed every second.
Grandma, I eat mangoes. You happy?
All right, so I'm back once again for the third day. Without further ado, let's finish and wrap up with these tips. So I'll quickly list the following tips. So I did plan ahead for this trip, but if you can, definitely to save space, ship larger items to your destination. Efren and I had shipped over a tent for the beach and the baby's life jacket. Now I'm just going to name a few of the places that we went to for the first time this time around. Like I said, I've been traveling Puerto Rico since I was a kid. I'm not sure if anyone knows this about me, but I even lived in Puerto Rico for about 3 years in my early 20s. Because I am no longer in my 20s. There is just always something new to discover, whether it's Puerto Rico or it's your own state. So I did want to mention a few of our new favorite places. I'm gonna start off with restaurants because food is my favorite and I'm pretty sure this is a given for everybody else. So I'm gonna start off with a place called Patria, which is located in Cabo Rojo. The food is so good. We actually had red snapper here. Valentina loved the red snapper. She's not taken much liking to baby food that I've made for her. So it was pretty funny to see her enjoy her first solid food.
You like it, mommy? You like it? Yay.
The second on the list, and actually probably the top, is a place called Moorings and is located in Lajas, Puerto Rico. And this place actually surprised us. It is a complete hole in the wall, but it was really, really good food. They had really, really good presentation and service. Number 3, I would say it is Annie's place, where we also ate red snapper, and Valentina also made it so that we had no option but to share with her. The next list are 3 beaches that are baby, toddler, children friendly. I loved them before I had Valentina, and I love them even more so now that I have her and she can't be in really wavy water. So here goes. Buye Beach is definitely my top and my favorite. The only thing I don't necessarily like about this beach is that it's got just really one restaurant to choose from. So definitely if you're going to visit this beach, pack your own food, own beverages, unless you are going to leave and come back. Number 2, I would say, is Boqueron Beach. They have lots of little places to eat, kiosks, souvenir shops. This also has really crystal clear water. But I would say Buye is definitely like much, the water is much clearer. And number 3 is a beach that we had never been to before. It is located in Vega, Baja. This beach is called Puerto Nuevo Playa de Vega, Baja. I noticed that some locals call it by different names, but per Google, that is what it's called. And like I said, I'll link all the places that we visited down below. But this beach had kind of like 2 bodies of water. It has the main like ocean beach, and then they've got like a little area or a little body of water where it's pretty shallow, and more kid friendly, I would say.
Hi, baby. Hi, look at that. Hi, cutie.
All right, guys, so thanks for watching. I know this was a lengthier video. Just remember one thing, nothing is ever going to go as planned, especially with children. You're never going to regret trying something. You are going to regret not ever trying something and looking back on the year. So we're so glad we did, and we're excited for our upcoming trip. We are going to be heading out west in another 4 weeks. The van is almost done, so stay tuned for our next video on the van.
Until next time.
All right, thanks for watching, everybody. Stay tuned for the next vlog on the progress of our van.